Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite. The market is going really crazy right now. Everyone is doom posting and saying that we're going to zero or there's a huge market crash. So in this video, I'm going to be going over just as many coins as I possibly can. And along with that, I'm also going to be going over my entire portfolio and just showing you what I'm doing, how I'm planning on trading everything that I'm owning, and just it's gonna be a very long video, but it's pretty much gonna go over everything that I'm personally doing in the market. If you want to have some insights on what I think and how I'm trading and how I'm investing and everything like that. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about Bitcoin. Overall, we're in a bull market and I am bullish in the macro picture. I think that we're going to see Bitcoin at minimum $150,000 this cycle. However, right now you can't deny that we did get a sweep of the previous all-time highs, and the candles are looking incredibly indecisive. It was an indecision candle, followed by a very bullish candle, followed by a very bullish candle, followed by a very bearish candle, followed by an indecision candle, followed by a bullish candle, followed by a bearish candle, followed by an indecision candle. These are on the weekly time frames. Now, one thing that I do see, big picture, is this level down here at $53,000. So $51,000 to $53,000 basically. That is the 61.8% of this move from this bottom to this top. So this last leg up, that's the 61.8 golden ratio. Also, it is the 38.2 of the entire move up from here to here, okay? So if the price happens to come back down here, I don't know if it will, but if it does, this is, in my opinion, an absolute 100% buy. I'm going in with as much as I possibly can if I even have more ammo left in the bank at this point, because of the fact that it lines up perfectly with the 61.8, the 38.2, and it is the previous low. It's the weekly bullish order block. It's so good. And my overall thesis of that we are in a bull, well, not thesis, the overall fact that we are in a bull market, and my macro time frame is much longer than this. So that's the bigger picture for Bitcoin, part one. The second big picture for Bitcoin is the fact that we just had the fourth Bitcoin halving, and you can expect, I wrote this a couple weeks ago, expect range bound or lower prices for 1 to 3 weeks post halving, then moon. So we've had range bound slash lower prices for 1 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks now for before and post halving, and this is based off the fact that the previous halving cycle we had 1 week down and then 1 week up and then a few weeks down, and it was basically range bound for weeks before on the third Bitcoin halving, and before that it was very similar. It was actually went down after the second Bitcoin halving back in 2018. So it was down. Excuse me, 2016. It went down for at least a month or 2 months, right after the halving. Additionally, the outflows have been the greatest that we've seen from the institutions and funds in months. So we're getting a lot of outflows, and it's just, there's a lot of things that are saying that this is totally normal and you could expect more downside pressure, and it's nothing to really go crazy about or say that this bull run is over. This is totally standard stuff. So there's that, and then the other thing is that for the big macro picture is that from the low, let's see, go back here. From the low to the high, that was 742 days for the first cycle. It was 1,000 days for the second cycle. It was 1,000 days for the third cycle. And if we make it 1,000 days approximately for this cycle, that would put the fourth cycle high at around August to September of 2025, which is, I'm sticking to this, even though we've never had the price move higher before the halving. I'm sticking to this simply because it is so, it has been just so accurate every single time. And this entire chart as a whole has been incredibly accurate, even from the top to the bottom of this cycle was 300 and from the second cycle was 357 days. Well, from the top to the bottom of the last cycle was, I believe, 364 days. I don't know why it's not on here. I should maybe put this on here, but it goes like this. Yeah, just about 370 days from the market top to the bottom, right? Same exact, very, very close from the last cycle. And even if we do it from the cycle, let's do it from the cycle before then, that was 400 days. So between 350 and 400 days, something like that. And where are we from the high to the low? We did that. Yeah, so really from the high to the low has been very accurate. From the halving to the next high has been typically very accurate. From the low to the high has been pretty accurate and very accurate. The only thing that's different is literally the price itself has been higher. So I'm gonna stick with this thesis for now. Although if we do reach $150,000 Bitcoin before this happens, I'll definitely gonna be taking my profits, and I'm not gonna be putting any money into the actual market. That's for sure. So that is the bigger picture for Bitcoin. On the lower time frames, if we go down to the lower time frames, I could see us coming back up for one more tap of this SR flip. You could see that we had, if I bring this right here, we had a top, and then a bottom, and then a bottom, and then a top, and then a top, and then this one just went straight through, chopped up, and then a bottom, and then retest, and now this never touched it. So I do think we could come up and tap it again, but I mean that's iffy if that's actually gonna happen. But that's obviously a huge area, and we really do need to pass this. Bitcoin has to come back above here, and then I don't know if it'll tap it again, maybe a little bit lower, before coming back up for us to be really, really bullish on Bitcoin. I think if it comes back above here, then yeah, all hands on deck. We are good to go. And this is pretty much what I put in the VIP Discord. And actually, I put this in the free Discord chat. And one other thing is that we could possibly come down here and just do a quick reclaim of this low down here at around $58,000 to $60,000. That is totally possible as well. And bounce off the 100-day exponential moving average, or maybe just go a little bit below it and climb back up. Because if you look back here, this is exactly what happened back in January. Is we came down, from the start of the bull market, we went up and we finally came down to the 100-day exponential moving average and bounced up from there, and we have not retouched it yet. So maybe we will retouch it and come back up. So that's definitely a key area to be looking at, that $58,000 to $60,000 range. And if we do come down and then reclaim it, that could be a great longing opportunity as well. Otherwise, this $53,000 area, 51 to 53, prime, absolute prime to go as heavy as humanly possible, in my opinion, not financial advice, of course. So that is, for the most part, what Bitcoin is. One thing I don't like, which I pointed out, was this slow dripping RSI on the weekly and on the daily as well. This RSI looks like trash. The stochastic RSI looks like trash. I really hate when it looks like this. That to me is showing that there is no there's nothing behind the scenes that's actually happening. There's no real like buying pressure. Sometimes you could use the RSI to see like, oh, behind the scenes something's actually going on and people are loading up, but this just shows me that people are not loading up, the demand is not there, and we're probably going to go lower. And because of that, I've actually lowered all of my I've lowered all of my take profits for all the trades that I'm in currently to be just above where I actually bought. And I also lowered my second entries on a lot of things, and I turned the take profit from strict targets to percentages above where my average buy price is. So if, let's say, the price comes down and I buy something, right, and I'm already in a trade and then I buy more, well, that'll lower my average buy-in price. And because I have it's set to a percentage, my take profit to a percentage, it will also lower my take profit as well. So I'll get out on a bounce, because I really don't want to be in too many trades right now with how indecisive the market is and with how the market is looking. And there's some other factors as well, which I'll get into later. But that's my game plan for pretty much all of my trades. All of the trades that were in profit, I took all of my profits. I took them all out of the market. I closed all those out. And all the ones that I am down on, which is quite substantial right now on a number of them, I am actually doing what I just said and lowering my take profit, putting my take profit as a percentage instead of a target, and also lowering my entries, my second entries, to lower my average buying price, just in case we get a wick down or something like that. So that is Bitcoin, and now we could go into a few other things. I'll go into the total market cap, the dominance levels, and then I want to go into some of the more fundamental big picture things that I used to go into in my market updates. So I'll get into those as well. All right, so that was Bitcoin. Now let's look at the total market cap. So the total market cap looks like this on the weekly time frame. I was really hoping that we would come up to the previous weekly high and then get rejected from there. That's where I had this red resistance in the alerts and everything like that. But we only just tapped right below. We got front ran and then fell down. So as a whole, the market, it does not have as much capital in it as it had back in November of 2021. Still, even with all of the inflows of the ETFs, BlackRock, and the institutions, Fidelity, and all of that, we still have a lower market cap than what we had in 2021, which is quite concerning. And for this, there are two Fibonacci levels, which I'll draw out. So this one I already drew out, from the bottom to the top, and then there's this one right here as well. So this, just like with Bitcoin, the market cap is showing this level at $1.965 trillion as an absolute key level, considering that this, well, you could even bring this all the way back there and see, like, this was a very, very big SR flip level. But this, for me, the Fibonacci lines up so perfectly here that if the total market cap does come back down to this level, I'm just going to start buying everything I possibly can, maybe we'll see a little move up first and, some green in the markets first, which is why I personally, still have my take profit orders in the books. I didn't just market sell everything into panic, because we could still come up, retest retest some of the bearish order blocks or bearish breakers and then fall back down. But I'm definitely leaning on the fact that we're going to fall back down. And this is a total market cap, and the fibs just line up so perfectly here that this is definitely where I would want to buy at $1.98 trillion if we do see that. So that's total. For the dominance levels, let's take a look at the dominance levels real quick. So this is Bitcoin dominance, and for Bitcoin dominance, the monthly chart does look pretty bad. So that's good for alts, but if Bitcoin goes down, then alts get crumbled also. So that's the monthly chart though, and the month is almost over, which is good, But the weekly chart doesn't look as bad. It's still in a weekly uptrend. We had this, breakout. Where's my little thing right here? Yeah, so we had this triangle and we broke out of the triangle. We're retesting it on the Bitcoin dominance, which means that the dominance for Bitcoin might still come all the way back up, which I think honestly, we should just say like this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna come back up to the 61.8. It's already like it hit the 50 and maybe it'll fall back down, but I don't know. I don't really see it too much. Maybe later in this video I'll change my mind, but for now I still think that this is the level to say, okay, like when we reach this is going to be really, really good for alts. We're going to have a mini alt season, maybe for a month or two, and then things will cool off, and then we will resume up only after that. But this is still a far way away, and so dominance level for Bitcoin is still moving up, which means that alts are suffering compared to Bitcoin, and we will see that in just a second. Finally, and then the inverse chart of that. The inverse chart of that is the Bitcoin dominance level. So this is what I don't like about the altcoin dominance level. This is what I don't like about the altcoin dominance level. The monthly chart looks great. Once again, monthly chart looks absolutely great. And shit, maybe we're freaking primed. Maybe we're primed to go for alts. I don't really know. But on the weekly chart, the fact that we had this right here, and this was so bullish, and then we pumped up, we slammed, crashed down, and then pumped up again. That was massively bullish. This and this, two incredibly bullish candles on the dominance charts, and then we just fell down. We just fell back down after all of this. That is extremely bearish to me. The fact that we did that, even though on the monthly chart this candle looks really nice. Not gonna lie, we had the sweep of all of these lows, and it looks like a bullish hammer candle, all this good stuff. But on the weekly chart, it looks to me like we had all of this bullish momentum over here, and then we just slowly dripped down, and the alts just slowly bled out against Bitcoin, and then we crashed, and now we came back up, and we're retesting the lows at this SR flip, and I think we're gonna keep on going back down. So that makes me actually pretty bearish on alts. Yeah, I really can't be too bullish on alts at this point. And eventually, like I said with the Bitcoin dominance, I want the altcoin dominance to come back down here before we really do anything. Also, this was a pretty key level for altcoin dominance, and the fact that we just like fell back below it, I get this happens down here because like this was such a key SR flip, and then it's like, okay, we pumped up, but the fact that we're now back down below it, it's just, I don't like it at all. I really don't. This is where we should have bounced. It's where we should have bounced, in my opinion. And then two other things. The dollar, I do like how the dollar is reached this bearish weekly order block right here, put in an indecision candle and started falling down. So the dollar is, it's looking very top heavy. Typically when the dollar crashes, Bitcoin rises because it's an inverse relationship. The only thing I have to say about this is that I do think that it will eventually come back up here before it falls. But right now, the dollar is looking pretty strong. So, the dollar is looking pretty weak, it's looking a little toppy. But it could just, fall down a little bit and then come right back up. That is definitely a possibility as well. So, I can't really use this with too much emphasis. I think that looking at the other things that we just looked at was probably a better tell. Also looking at the stock market, itself, we had a weekly bearish, look at this, weekly bearish market structure break in the stock market for the first time since October of 2023. So let's take a look. Let's start right here, right? Let's start right here. This is the low, right, of October of 2022. That was the low in the stock market. It came up on the weekly time frame, came back down, put in this bullish order block, came up, came back down, bullish order block, came up, came back down. This one did create a bearish market structure break on the weekly time frame, but it eventually just, it just came right back up, and then once this happened, okay, this is bullish, and you want to get in on the retraces, get in on the retrace, and then since then, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This was the last, this right here was the first bearish market structure break on the weekly time frame in the stock market since March of 2023. So March 2023 to August of 2023. So 1 year later, we had this bearish market structure break on the weekly time frame, and then we had the retest, and then a slam down. Since then, we had fucking insane, how many weeks is this? It's crazy, of up only. And then a bullish market structure, bullish order block, bullish order block, bullish order block, and now we had our bearish market structure break on the weekly time frame right here. So really, this is like this. And for this to turn bullish again, it needs to do what this did right here, which is to come retest the bearish order block, and then come back above it. So it's retesting it right now, so it's probably gonna fall a little bit, but it needs to come back. It needs to come back above it. Like, it really needs to come back above it. And then if it does this, the price will probably come back down for the retest and then continue its upward momentum. But yeah, on the weekly time frame, the stock market is bearish now. And so, I mean, looking at this, let's take the fib and see where this lines up. I think that I think the 38.2, like this is the weekly, it's a weekly bullish order block right here. Yeah, in a sense, it is. And so this is the key level right here, is the key level on the stock market, but I don't think the stock market is going to come back down that low. I think that right here is where the stock market is going to come. So if the stock market falls down to this level at 48.78, I think that would be a good buying opportunity, and it would be a good time to look at Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because typically when the stock market goes up, crypto goes up as well, right? So this would be a good time to start looking for longs and see maybe the stock market comes down here, and at the same time, Bitcoin hits that $53,000 level. That's that key level. Oh my God, that would be perfect. So yeah, that is the stock market as well. And now we could go into some of the more fundamental big picture things that I used to look at in the market update videos. Okay, so now I want to go over a lot of the fundamental on-chain data stuff and what do you call these indicators that I used to go over all the time, but I haven't gone over in a while because there's really no need to go over them until we meet market cycle tops and bottoms. But I figured might as well just do it right now, and then I'll do it later when I think that we might be getting closer to a top or a bottom. But I do have alerts for all of these things set up so that when they do hit the key levels, my Discord group will get alerted in the VIP. So if you're not a member of the VIP group, you could simply join that at wap.cryptoelite.com or wap.com/cryptoelite. I'll have a link for that in the description, and you'll get these for free as part of that. And these cost money, so that's one perk of getting the VIP in my group, along with the signals and all of the other things that are offered in there. But I'm going to start off with this is the R-HODL ratio. You can see the green is the time to buy. This was when Bitcoin was between $23,000 and $15,000. And it came out when it pumped back up to the 23 the second time. And so that was a great time to buy. And the time to sell is really, it's typically in this red zone. That's what it was the last three cycles, the first three cycles, I should say. The last one, it never actually hit. So this one it looks like it's accurate on the bottom side, but not as accurate as I would want on the top side. And I do think I remember looking at this, and I didn't use this as my top signal because it never hit. But yeah, we still have a long ways to go according to this. And if this does hit, then I will take my profits. If it does hit. If it doesn't, then who knows? Have to use other things. But that's why we have other indicators. And the other indicator that I like to use is the MVRV score. So the MVRV score, once again, the bottoms, shows the cycle tops very, very accurately. This one did actually reach the pink zone last market cycle top, which helped me determine, that it was the top. And then once Bitcoin reached $20,000 back in 2022 in June, it basically marked the bottom from June to December. So for 6 months straight, it was pretty much the bottom. But that was between 20,000 and 15,000. So it really was pretty accurate. And according to this, you could see that we have a long ways to go before this actually gets even close to the pink zone, to the sell zone for the MVRV score. So that's actually really, really good, and it means that we potentially have a very long ways to go for Bitcoin and for it to move a lot higher. Then, of course, we have the rainbow chart, and even looking at this, we're still in this buy zone. We're still in a freaking buy zone. The Bitcoin's at $60,000 and we're in the buy territory. We're not even in the hodl, or is this a bubble, or FOMO, or sell territory. We're not even in any of these, not even in the midpoint. We're below the still cheap. It wasn't the still cheap not too long ago, or actually no, it hasn't even reached the still cheap point, reached the accumulation point. But this is, this chart, it's a rainbow chart. It's not necessarily like totally real, but there is, it's not something that you should just base everything off of, but because they needed to add this purple hue here once Bitcoin fell down below the blue one, and so this was not here previously, and they had to add this in to make it accurate, so what if it falls down? They'll just add another one in, right? So you can't use this, but you can't use any indicator, just one. You have to use multiple in conjunction all together, right? And I mean, this one, just based off of this chart, yes, the Bitcoin price has gone lower and lower and lower and lower. So maybe this time we'll only get to the hodl territory, the yellow, or maybe even the top of the still cheap category or color. But you could see that there's definitely some clear indication, or some clear patterns that you could tell from this chart. And we're still in the low territory. We're still very, very, very low, just from where it should be, technically speaking, for the market cycle top. Should at least come to the hodl territory, in my opinion, on this chart. So there's that. Then we have the fear and greed index. Right now it's at 67, which is still pretty greedy. I would think that since things seem so, people seem so bearish on my timeline, and what people have been telling me, that this would be lower, but this is still in the greedy territory, which is also putting me in the camp that would probably go lower. And then we have the pi cycle top indicator. This one was really, really, really good. You could see last time it marked the top back in April, although it didn't mark the top back in November. So it marked the top back in April, but then we shot all the way back up back in November. Before that, though, it did mark the top before this. I don't know why it doesn't go back further, but in 2017 it marked the top, and it marked the top basically in 2021. So if we get this, let me go to the 1 hour chart. 24 hours. There you go. So you could see it marked the top. It did mark the top on the 24-hour chart back in April of 2021, back in December of 2016, back in December of 2013. It's very accurate. So once this crosses, that obviously is going to be a really good indicator that that's the market cycle top, and we're not even close. And then there's also the pi cycle top and bottom indicator with this down here, which basically shows that, okay, maybe you should start scaling in once we start coming down into the screen. And maybe you should start scaling out once we start coming up into the red. So this is meant for scaling in and scaling out. And we're not even at the scaling out phase yet. So, that just goes to show, I don't think we're even close to a cycle top. And yeah, we're still in a bull market. So macro picture, we're moving up. And so that's all. These are all of the fundamental stuff that I look at, and now you know. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go on to Ethereum. So I'm looking at Ethereum right now, and looking at this, you can see that from top to the bottom back here, we hit the 61.8 right there, fell back down, and then pumped all the way up, like very significantly up. To be honest, we pumped all the way up to this bearish order block that we actually never tapped back there. And then we started to fall. So since March, we've been falling. And I was thinking that we were going to get to the range high, like the same way that we did with Bitcoin, where we went above the range high for Bitcoin and then fell back down. But Ethereum is still lagging, like drastically lagging. Either way, what have we seen so far? We've seen, well, actually, let me do this. Just in case this is the actual, this is the top of it. Wait a minute, look at that. Okay, so yeah, if you take the fib from the very, very bottom all the way to the top, we hit the 38.2, which corresponded with the 61.8 of the fib from here to here, right? So this is the fib. So if we get rid of that, you could see that the Fibonacci from the last, leg up, this was 61.8, and we came back down, we tapped it, and we jumped up to 30.2. And honestly, it looks like we're gonna fall back down to the 61.8. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we fell back down here. And if we did, that would probably be where I would want to go in. I don't know if I would really want to wait for this area down here. I said go all into ETH, here if it hits 2,500. I'm not really sure if it will hit that area, if it will hit there, but that would be a pretty good area because obviously it's close to the 61.8 of this entire move, and it's close to the, let me see what this is. This is the 50%, the 50% of the entire move. So this would be the best opportunity, the 25, 2,600 area. That would be the equivalent of this down here for Bitcoin, at 53,000. I just don't think it's gonna hit there. So I would rather go back in, or at least look for longing opportunities at this 3,000, 2,900 area, or 2,900. That's where I would look for long opportunities for Ethereum. So going down to the daily chart, you could see that actually, hold on a second. Let me just double check the exponential moving averages. So on the weekly, forget that. Let's go down to the daily. So on the daily, we tapped the moving average right there, and then we just pumped up, but we've already went around it. So I don't really think the 100-day exponential moving average really holds any weight on this. I stopped using moving averages such a long time ago because I just felt like they didn't really hold too much value for me. But this is probably the area that I would want to this is definitely the area that I would want to look for longs, is like right here, 2,900. So let's go down into the 12-hour maybe and see what do we got from there. Okay, so for the 12-hour, this actually doesn't look too bad, but just given what everything else is happening, everything else, I would rather be cautious. I'd rather be more cautious and risk off than risk on right now. So I would rather just wait and just chill. This is a really bad daily candle. Not gonna, this is like a bearish long wick candle that had a swing failure pattern from this high. Yeah, it's really not good. And then we got this bearish candle on the next day, and there's only 2 hours closing. So I'm just gonna chill out on Ethereum, and I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna put any bets on, because even if you just look at this is the range high, this is the range low, this is the 50%. Typically, you want to stay out of the markets when it's a no man's zone, which is basically like this area right here. And so I wouldn't really want to put on any type of trade like that. We're in a down market where it's going down. I was a lot more comfortable buying down here and then like on its way up, but after this and then after a couple other things that I saw today, I'm just not as keen to jump in right here at this area, you know. It's going back to the weekly chart. Yeah, I mean, even if we go to the weekly chart, like this is in the value zone. I mean, sorry, the value zone is below 3,100. So this is still in the premium zone. It's in the upper part of this move up. You know, you want to buy the retrace. You want to buy the retrace in the value zone. Anything under the 50%, right? Anything down here, particularly right here or right here, like that's value area. This is still in the premium area, so it's not even really a good buy. Just like speaking from a fundamental basis on price action or on a technical basis regarding the price of where it is right now, you know. So plus you add the fact that we had this bearish candle. Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like things should have been more bullish. So I'm gonna wait, and then let me put an alert in right here and say check, or I'll just say check for longing opportunities here, because I'm not sure if it'll get reached down here. If it does, then this obviously would be an amazing opportunity at 2,600, but I just don't think it. I don't think it will. So I think it will come down here though, which is a solid, 8% from where we are. As far as the ETH against Bitcoin pair goes, this has been the crappiest, just the worst chart of all time, you know? So let's see here. This was the low, deviate the low, and then target the highs. So this was the low. We did deviate below it right here and then pumped up. Typically, you don't get a second or parentheses fourth deviation though. If ETH falls below here, it'll probably head much lower. Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. So it had the reclaim right here. Let's go to the daily chart just to show you better, show you what I'm talking about. This was the low, right? So we marked that out. It fell below, and then it immediately, jumped the fuck up. It basically, people had their stops down here, and the liquidity was right here. So it swung down, stopped everyone out, and then just pumped like a madman up. And like, yes, you do expect a nice retrace after that, but you don't expect it to retrace all the way back down again. And then now this is the low that it reclaimed. That doesn't, I don't know, that just doesn't really make that much sense to me. So I do think that we're gonna come back down here on the ETH BTC pairing. And then once we reach here, that's gonna be the area to really go ham in the on the alts. So I'm just gonna wait more. I'm not going to really pump too much or anything, anything for that matter into Ethereum now. And now it's like we have this major support line that's now resistance, which it is resistance once, 2, 3 times now. And now we have this major support line that's now resistance as well. So I'm gonna actually turn this red. This is red now, and this is gonna be red now as well. So yeah, just lots of resistance, not looking the best. I would rather wait until it comes back down there. Okay, so now I could start going into all of the current trades that I am personally in right now. So I recently bought Sui. I bought Sui yesterday at 1.19, which is like right there, right? And I bought it because I like the fact, because I, first off, because I missed it. I missed this area right here, which is where I wanted to buy it. And then I figured, okay, well, it came up, put in the bullish market structure, so let me just buy it, when it comes back down, which I liked. And I like the fact that it has this major support, and we're very close to it on the diagonal, and it has this major support on the horizontal as well. If we oh, this is a weekly level. Let me go to the weekly. Boom. Okay, so I guess so. This is actually what I wanted to put for the weekly, but regardless. uh, it, it, I'm just I'm not liking. I really hate this. I really hate this candle. I really hate both of these candles actually. I'm considering just cutting it off right now, because I think that the probability of it coming up back up to say here, I don't really think that there's that high of a probability. This right here is a good area, but where is it? Right there, and it hasn't broken and closed below it. But yeah, I'm in Sui, and I feel like it would be better to wait until it comes back down to this area at 1.06, and to look for long opportunities there. So I'm gonna cut some of my losses, and then I'm gonna get in there. The only other thing though, another reason why I got into Sui in particular is because of the Bitcoin chart, right? So I was looking at the Bitcoin chart, and this is what I did. Like, this is what I did for Bitcoin. So I got in right here, and I think that it should outperform Bitcoin now, because it came all the way down, and then it made a bottom, came all the way up, and then came almost all the way back down. Maybe if I go to the weekly chart, you can see it better. Came almost all the way back down, touched basically the bullish breaker before actually the bullish order block before it really went ham. And now it's like, okay, I feel like it's turning around, low, and then I was expecting this to be the higher low. And now I'm not too sure, and I think that it's probably gonna come back down there. So because I mean, yeah, you can't do anything with the RSI, can't do anything with the MACD. Yeah, things just aren't looking particularly good. So I'm gonna have to delete this. I just don't feel like this is gonna happen. I'm not 100% sure that this is gonna happen. That's for sure. And I'm thinking there's a less likely probability of this actually happening now. So yeah, Sui, I'm gonna have to wait. But if it comes back down here on the Bitcoin chart, back down to this level, this green box, or if it comes, back down to here, to this daily bullish order block on the USDT charts, or even to this area, again at 99 cents, I think that would be a really good buy for Sui. All right, so I had to change rooms, but now I am looking at HBAR. So I just started buying some HBAR after I saw the announcement that they were partnering with BlackRock, but I think it's gonna come back down actually to this right here, this bullish order block. So I'm putting this like this. I'm gonna say bullish OB right there, and I do think it will come back down there. So yeah, I bought some over here, and I'm just gonna quadruple my position down here, and then my average buy price will be somewhere right here, and I'm pretty sure that will end up getting a bounce. So I'm pretty sure we'll end up getting a bounce to at least here, and then I'll be able to take my profit for 1 or 2%. and it'll work out just fine for me for HBAR, because I didn't put in a lot up here. I just put in like a small amount so that I could keep on buying more as the price goes down, just because of the announcement and everything like that. Also, I did make an absolute killer trade on this, going from buying right there and selling right there, literally buying the bottom, selling the top. That was crazy good. I made like 10K off of that, and that was totally updated in the VIP group, in the Discord group. That was back here. If we type in HBAR, yeah, it was like right there. HBAR did it, crushed it. Boom, boom, boom. Sold, buy, sell right there. Laid the whole thing out, laid everything out in the, Discord group. So link down in the description for that. But yeah, that's it right there. So we got HBAR, and also, oh, wait a minute. Actually, this is the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour chart looks fine. The 1 hour chart actually looks really good for HBAR. Because we got this sweep and the bullish hammer candle. So I do think on the 1 hour it's probably going to come up, but I don't think the higher time frames are bullish at all, and I do expect it to come down even further down to this area, if not this area at 90 cents. And if we look at HBAR against Bitcoin, what do we have for that? Let's look at the weekly chart and reset this, zoom out. So, we have the lows, we have the middle, and we have the high. So we're definitely, this is a crazy wick, but that's just because of the news. So this one's tough. I think if it comes back down to these lows, that would be a really solid buy for HBAR. You can't really use this trend line because the price pumps up, it pumps up above it. But I do think maybe it'll end up doing something like this, and then move up. That's probably what I'm going to try to play when it comes to HBAR. But right now for the USDT, you already know what I'm doing. Okay, next up we have Tau Network, and I am seeing something on Tau that I wish I saw before, but whatever, I'm seeing it now, and this is my favorite strategy. Can't even believe that I'm sharing it with you, but I realize that, or I think that not a lot of people will see this video, and also I don't think that people who even see this video will realize this information and capitalize on it. But this is my favorite strategy by far, and this is when I see a 5-wave structure up just like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I plot the fib from the bottom. So this is the bottom right there, and I plot it from the bottom to the top, which it looks like is 575 or 575. So this is the top, so bottom of the top of the 5-wave structure. And to get in at the 61.8, this typically is this is like my creme de la creme strategy right here. So, and then I'll probably sell at the 30. I usually like to sell at the 38.2. So that's a solid 46%, 46% gain for Tau. And so $328, that is when I want to get in, from 320 to 328, but I'll just get in at 328 because it's a little bit higher up, and that is what I want to do. So I'm definitely going to be getting in at this level, and I'll be selling it right here at $477 if it happens to come down there. Maybe it doesn't come down there. Maybe this is the bottom right now. Who knows? It is performing a swing failure pattern of these lows right here right now on the weekly time frame. So if it closes above here, that would be super bullish, and then maybe that's it. But if it happens to come down here, I know for a fact I will be loading the bags up with this. Now here's the deal. I already am pretty heavily invested into this, and so do I want to hold? I think I want to hold what I have, just because Tau from a fundamental perspective is so big. I wouldn't mind continuing to put money into it. Also, if we go to the daily chart, you could see this is a very good, this does look really good. This is a swing failure pattern of the low and on the 200-day exponential moving average. Honestly, this is a pretty solid long setup. Literally just like this is okay. And then you could take the fib from let's say from the top to the bottom, and then try to get out, say right here for 27%, or all the way up here. That's a 60% gain. This is a 7.6 R trade. It's honestly, it's really solid. It's at a good level, 50%, and we have, this is a bull flag, a bull flag. So you can see right there is the bull flag after a really big move up. I mean, AI, one of the best coins out there. I might actually take this trade right now and just buy more. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy more Tau literally right now. Next up, we have Dogecoin. I still really want Dogecoin to pop well above 20 cents. I was hoping it would eventually get to, pretty darn high. But I'm still waiting for it to go higher. I did have another chart looking at this one. I know I had another chart with more stuff. 36 cents. That's where I wanted it to go to. I wanted it to go to 36 cents. So sort of just waiting for it to go there. It had obviously this huge run up from 7 cents to 21 cents. So it tripled in value, and then it fell all the way. Let's see. First it fell from the bottom to the top down to the 61.8, then pumped up again 1, 2, 3. So, and then it dropped all the way down to 61.8, pumped up again, and then it's on its way back down. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it fall back down here, but I don't know. It's pretty low. The MACD is moving up, which I like. The RSI stochastic RSI is in the oversold territory. So I wouldn't really want to just sell this right now. Like, I feel like this would be a stupid time to sell it, at this pretty much near the support, like pretty close to the support. I would wait. Yeah, I would wait to sell it. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't really know what else to say. As far as Doge against Bitcoin goes, this obviously is a terrible candle, and it's made a new low. So high, low, high, lower low, high, and then it was having some good traction, and then boom, lower low, and now a lower low. So it doesn't look too hot against Bitcoin, but maybe what'll happen maybe it'll fall back down to this trend line and then pop back up. I don't know. I'll have to do more analysis on it against Bitcoin, but I do think that maybe if it falls back down to these lows right here, that's a pretty good SR flip area, support, major support there, resistance, just trash, support, resistance, support. So yeah, I think if it falls back down here, that would be a great buying opportunity for Doge. So I'm just going to put an alert in for that one. And then as far as the USDT pair goes, I'm already in a trade, so I'm just going to hold it, what I have. But I don't really think it's going to fall all the way back down. If it did, the absolute best place to buy would be right here at, let's say 11 cents, because you got this huge support resistance flip area right there. So that would be the ideal place to buy. So I'll put an alert in here, and I'll also put an alert in for the Bitcoin chart. Okay, next up we have this meme coin on the Brett network called DEGEN, and I bought some up here, and basically if it comes back down here and sweeps these lows, then I'll probably buy more. Or if it comes all the way down to the very bottom, then I'll probably buy more if we get some bullish price action in. And this, I'm just gonna like wait and wait and wait and wait. And I think that eventually the base ecosystem will blow up and the memes on base will get really big. I've heard a lot of FUD when it comes to a lot of meme coins recently, so I don't know if this is going to go to zero or not, but my game plan is like I said, if I see a sweep on this, I'm going to try to buy the retest, or if it comes all the way down here, I'm going to try to buy a retest down here. One of those two things for me is going to happen, and then once I see, it's an uptrend, I'll try to buy a down move to capture the up move on this, but nothing really crazy. Okay, the next coin that I'm trading is STX. This is obviously really big in the whole crypto layer 2 phase and everything like that. It's bouncing off of this trend line again, so multiple times it's been bouncing off of this, and I have a feeling it's not gonna hold, but I am still in it. I'm still trading it. Going down to the 4-hour, it does look really good. Maybe get a little bit of one more retest before a nice move up to somewhere over here, or maybe somewhere over here. I am going. Oh shit! We also have a bullish divergence, and yeah, pretty much a bullish divergence on both. So STX actually looks really good, just like Tau. Just how I think Tau looked really good on the lower time frames. If it's going to hold up on the higher time frames, I really do like this nice V reversal. So STX is actually looking pretty good. If I didn't just put all my money into all my money into Tau Network, I'd probably load up more STX down here. But I'm going to wait because I don't know. Maybe it'll end up falling a little bit lower. I'm already in some positions, so nothing I could really do. Going to the weekly chart though, we hit the 61.8, which is great. No, did we not? How about this? The entire move down. So this right here is the entire 61.8 of the entire move down. So if it comes down there, that's like major. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't really call this 5 waves. Maybe if this was 1 and this is 2 and then this is 3 and then 4 and then 5, that might work. But either way, I think this would be the best buy for stacks at $1.77. All right, so I put the trade on for Tau, and the next coin that I have in my portfolio that I'm trading is OP. So I want to take a look at that. If we take a look at OP, and let's do it from this one, we can see that it is, hold on a second. I feel like there's definitely a better version of this, but whatever. We could see that it had a major fall, which is why I started buying it. And I'm in my average price, I think, is right around where we are right now. And I love OP. I think it's a fantastic token. Just looking at it like this, I mean, it's up and to the right, it's not rocket science with this token. Oh man, if it reaches this bottom down here, that would be pretty amazing. So definitely going to put in an alert for right here for this line. But right now, I mean, OP fell 63% from the highs. It's down 50% right now. It's part of the Coinbase ecosystem, and it's, I think, a legit token. So I think this is a good time to own some OP. There's also, where is it? Right here. Resistance, support, broke through it, resistance, broke through it again, support, resistance, broke through it, retested it, and then shot up like crazy. So this is the most key. Yeah, that's the most key level of support and resistance for sure. And then this is the other key level of support and resistance right there. So you can see resistance, support, resistance right there, support, 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 resistance, 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 and then support. So probably here is where I would load up if it happens to come back down. And because I don't think it's going to come all the way back down to this one. So right here is close enough to this diagonal as well. And it's the previous support resistance flip. So yeah, major SR flip area. Major SR flip, yeah. So I'm in it right now. I'm gonna try to sell some relatively soon because of the fact that this is looking like a bear flag, really. You know, big move down and then slowly grinding up, and then that typically falls back down after this. So I wouldn't be surprised to see OP come back down to 1.85. If it does, that would be where I would want to start averaging in. So start averaging in down here, and I think that would be a really good opportunity to get a really high quality cryptocurrency 60 to 63% off the highs. So that's OP, and that's OP against the US dollar. What about OP against Bitcoin? Well, OP against Bitcoin looks like this on the weekly, and it did not hit the weekly bullish order block yet. So this is the weekly bullish order block. It never came down and hit it, but this is the key level, key support. Bring it up right there. Yeah, I mean, this is the key support level right here, and bounced off of it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Yeah, it kept on bouncing off of this area right here against Bitcoin. So I mean, dang, this looks like a really solid level for OP to be in OP right around this area, especially against Bitcoin. I mean, it moved up and it's coming back down. It's coming back down to retest it. So it's so far down against Bitcoin that it just seems like a no-brainer to me. I don't really want to sell it now. I really don't feel like I want to sell my USD version because this is at such a good level against Bitcoin. So that is a tough one. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this one. I'm definitely gonna have to think about this one. I don't like the USD. I hate the USD version of this, but I think the Bitcoin version looks really good. I just hate these last 2 daily candles, but I mean, that's not the end of the world, you know? It's just looking at this chart, this looks like it is a good value against Bitcoin, and I would hate to waste it. Yeah, it might fall down another 25%, 25 to 35%, but we even got the big flush out. The RSI looks pretty good. The stochastic is in the oversold. Look at the 3-day. 3 days looking pretty good against Bitcoin as well. The daily's looking okay. The stochastic is way too oversold, but at least the actual RSI is moving up with the price, and it's back above this. I mean, it would be difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to sell. It would be difficult to sell this right now. So let me just publish this idea. OP and I'll just do a trend publish idea, and then what I'll do is I'll just copy paste this right here and be like OP BTC hitting SR flip, just to know that it's hitting it if it comes back down again. And I mean, if it falls back down there, that might be pretty bad. So you could say, you know, if it falls underneath here like that, maybe it keeps on going down. But otherwise, if it stays above here, that's reason to stay long. So I don't really want to sell my OP right now. Yeah, maybe that doesn't look very good. Okay, I could see why. This happened, for sure. It's just people taking the profits because of this. But it's not really that big of a deal, you know? I almost think like OP is one that I should just hold and not try to be so much of a stinge on, you know? This is a daily. Yeah. It's, man. Okay, so for OP, I like this area too much, so I don't think I'm gonna take all of my profits on OP I don't think I'm gonna take my profits on OP. I think I'm just gonna let it ride. I think I'm in from too good of a level. So yeah, because of OP against BTC and OP against USDT, I think OP has a really good chance of moving. All right, guys, so I moved again. This time I'm outside, got some food and some drinks. And the next coin that I have that I'm gonna trade in is ONDO. Absolutely love ONDO. It's probably my favorite. It's one of my favorite cryptocurrencies. Sorry, there's this bug over here. It's bugging me. Looks like it might be a mosquito, which is super annoying. I hope I don't get bit. But yeah, I have ONDO and I absolutely love it. I have a ton of it. And if it falls down to this area right here around, 65 to 68 cents, automatic, huge buy from me. Definitely gonna get a bunch right here because it has the diagonal and the horizontal support. And it's just like, it's such a good coin. This coin is the only institutional coin that's 100% partnered with BlackRock. And it's a real world asset coin, which is a huge narrative. And I'm gonna go into the narrative plays in a little bit in this video, but yeah, ONDO is one of my favorite coins, and same thing with Rio is another one that's really big in the real world asset RWA narrative, but ONDO is my favorite. So I'm in it, and honestly, this is something that it's moving down, and it has this huge triangle right here, but it also has this triangle right here. So on the daily chart, let's go down to the 12-hour chart. I just want to check the 12-hour. Yeah, so that's the daily. The 12-hour, it doesn't look like it, but the 12-hour, it is making higher lows, and hopefully it'll consolidate and then break out from here. Although I do sort of want it to just like wick down to these levels so I could get filled more, and then it goes up. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna stick with this one. I'm not gonna sell it. I like it too much. It doesn't look super bearish to me. It's not like it fell super low and now it's retesting a bearish order block or a big resistance level or anything like that. It's in no man's land. So I don't know if I would necessarily buy for a trade right now, this particular moment, if I wasn't in it. But if I didn't have any, I would definitely buy some just for a long-term investment, and I would buy more if the price kept on going down. So that's ONDO, and this is ONDO against USDT, but we could do ONDO USDT and then dash Bitcoin USD, and then if we click on that, we could get the actual ONDO against Bitcoin chart, And if we do that, you could see that it's just been up only. It's been absolutely crazy against Bitcoin since what time is this? February of 2024. It's up. Let's see, from here to here, 164%, and that's against something that's already that went up, over 100%. So this thing's just been on an absolute tear, and I will add this to my watch lists. So I'll add that one, and I'll add it to my Bybit one as well. So if this, let's see, yeah, if this comes down and I guess taps this right here, then an alert will go off, and I'll definitely be buying buying more, I guess. And if it also comes down to this horizontal line, I'll definitely scoop up more. This is a long-term hold for me, 100%. It is something that I'll probably hold until 2025, if not longer. So these are the two areas against BTC, and where is it on this chart? USDT, and this is the area against USDT. So yeah, I got my two areas locked in. And like I said, if you don't have any of this, if you have zero exposure to ONDO, I'd probably grab a little bit and then just like buy more as the price keeps going down, or dollar cost average in or something like that, because this is such a good crypto. All right, and next up we have Solana. So for Solana, let's go to the weekly chart because it's really big. If you look at Solana, let me get rid of all this stuff. This was the key weekly level. It was right here. I wonder if you take the fib from the bottom to the top, what would it be? This is where the 61.8 would be. Does that line up with anything in particular? Well, I mean, it does line up with this, but we'll see if it ends up coming back down there. The thing about Solana is that it's always put up against ETH, right? And so you just have to look at Sol versus ETH. And once this happened, once I saw that this hit, that was time to get out. And then it came back down quite substantially. It's like, okay, you get back in. But then it bounced up here and then eventually just slammed back down again. So like this is the obvious resistance for Solana. I mean, if it breaks above here and holds, then who knows? The sky's the fucking limit for this. Even though it's already up, hundreds and hundreds of percentage. In the last year and a half to 2 years, right? But when it comes to like, where it's at right now, I think that it's not bad. This looks pretty good. This is one of the ones that I'm in that I'm lowering my take profit. My take profit was like, who knows where it was, but I'm lowering it to over here. Again, for the potential double top, just because I'm so uncertain in these markets that I don't want to risk anything, and I'm gonna raise my stop to, somewhere over here, just in case we do get another move down. So I like how the market is moving up right now. That's really good because it lets me get out of some of my positions. But ultimately, I would like to see the price of Solana come back down to this 115 area. I mean, if it gets down to $100 again, just above $100, I think that would be really good buy, just because of the big psychological number. I doubt people will, will have it go down to $91, $92 because it's just such a big number is $100, So there's that. And then even if it does get down to 91, that's the golden ratio, so it'll probably bounce from there. And I'm in a trade with this, but yeah, I think the other plays are better. I think like OP, like I mentioned before, and if ONDO could reach a good level, and then there's all the meme coins that I have to go over right now, and those are, have huge potential as well. So for Solana, I mean, do you really want to? It's like, do you really want to buy Solana right now? I mean, look at Solana against ETH. It's probably, maybe it'll outperform it over the next couple of weeks, but it'll most likely end up turning over. I think that this is what's going to happen. I think that it'll eventually go like this against Ethereum, and Ethereum will be the better play. That's just my opinion, though. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's Solana. If I had to do something, I would wait until 115 and then buy at 115. This right here is the weekly bullish order block. Yeah, it came back down, hit the weekly bullish order block, like, and then just jumped up from there. So yeah, I think, I don't know, I have a feeling like a lot of the other ones, it's going to come back down again. We'll see. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just, maybe this was the bottom, and then this was the retest or the thing to freak people out, and now it's on its way. It has created a higher high, so this was the high, and then this a higher high. And if this is the low, then that's a higher low. So that would be really, really good. But it needs to break past this first, and then retrace, and then that'll be the higher low. We don't know yet. I do like the RSI ticking up, and now it's still up. So RSI is looking pretty good. MACD's not looking very good. Stochastics, okay, it's nothing to write home about. It's just, if you take the fib from the range low to range high. Oh, I guess it is in the 61.8. Or it's in the value zone. All these bugs, man. Yeah, I was just making sure that that's actually in the value zone. So it's not bad, but I don't know. I just feel like there's other plays at these current levels that are better. You gotta admit though that is a good looking candle. This is a maybe this is a tweezer bottom. It's possible. You could literally enter right here, and then yeah, I mean, you could enter literally right now and then put a stop underneath there. That's totally plausible. But I'm just gonna chill. My trade, I lowered my take profit to pretty much break even, right above break even, and I'm just gonna wait until it pumps up there. Otherwise, I'm going to like double down or triple down if it ends up coming back down here. And also, I forgot to go against Bitcoin for Solana, but I do think that this is the more likely area for Solana against Bitcoin to come down to, which is why I'd rather just buy Bitcoin compared to Solana right now. But yeah, I do think that it'll come back down here, and then hopefully it'll pump up and do better than it did in 2021 against BTC, and create new all-time highs and everything like that. Okay, next up we have TIA. So TIA is a coin that went absolutely nuts. It did a 10x, and then it started to fall, and it fell 60-70%, and now it's just like, here, I could get rid of this. Don't need that. Don't even know why that was on there, to be honest. TIA, this is this chart against. Maybe there's another chart that's better. No, they're all the same. I guess it came out. I mean, just came out on every exchange at the same time. You could see that the weekly bullish order block was front ran right there. There's a little gap right there, so that was not hit. So it would be nice if this does get hit. I sort of think that it will. The RSI on the weekly looks terrible. Let's go down to the 3-day. 3-day looks bad because it closed beneath here. But as long as it doesn't close beneath the wick, that's usually good. The RSI, I like how it's sort of, it's moving up right there compared to the price, but still, I don't really use the 3-day anyway. That is never good when there's just like a million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red days in a row. That's not good. So what do I think is going to happen with TIA? Well, let's start off by taking the fib, bottom to top. Okay, I mean, it hit the 61.8. It's probably going to come back down. I would say at least I would say it's at least going to come back down here, but I would probably just assume, I'm just going to automatically assume it's going to come back down to $6 to just over $6. And that's where that's going to be the buying opportunity for TIA, because it just doesn't look good at all. It really looks bad. So that's TIA against USD. How about TIA? Maybe TIA against Bitcoin has something else. So this is TIA against Bitcoin. This was the original. All right, so that didn't work out, and looks like it's, well, actually, this is the area. Yeah, TIA against Bitcoin looks really bad, like horrendously bad. So don't really know what's gonna happen with this, but we could do something like that. And if it breaks this, that might be good. But I personally, I think that it's gonna come back down to underneath this level, maybe like this level right here, and then maybe it's still gonna bounce from there. All right, so another coin that I'm in is Quant Network. I really like it. I'm right around, this level. It's a little bit below this level. And this has been such a key level, is between $94 and $100, right? So this is more like a long-term thing. It's not necessarily a trade in that, like, I have a strict stop loss and everything, but I do want to take my profit at, I want to take it at 188, but I'm probably going to take it at 135 just to be on the safe side. And yeah, I mean, Quant, it's at a really good price. There's not much else to say except for it's at just an extremely good price. The Bitcoin chart, on the weekly time frame, looks really good with this this candle. But then again, this candle looked really good as well, and so did this one, and so did this one. So, maybe it's actually not as good as what we think, even though, man, it does look nice, the last candle itself. But I'm looking at this, and it is at a major resistance, resistance, and then turn to support. So the major SR level. Yeah, the only other SR level is down here against Bitcoin, but this looks, it's like, come on, this is due for a bounce, I would assume. And it's been almost like down only mode for a long time. Eventually I do think it's gonna pop, and I don't know when, but I think we're definitely closer to the bottom than we are to the top on Quant. And hopefully the USD chart, will pump up from around this level. It's hard to imagine Quant's going much lower. Maybe it goes down to 84, but I mean, this is sort of it for Quant. Is it has to hold this green box, hold this green box. Like, it hit it, and let's go down to the daily. And yeah, so to be on the safe side, this is where I would take my profits, but it could potentially go all the way up to 188. So I'll reevaluate once it gets there. And another one that I'm in is WorldCoin. This is a really big AI coin. It went on this crazy run, and it retraced tremendously. It had a huge retrace all the way back down. Let's see, 69.5%, right? And then it bounced up, got rejected again off of this, basically this diagonal line, and now it's here. It's honestly, it's not looking as bad as the other ones are, especially considering that you could essentially say this is the this is the range, like, you know, that's the range low, and you can say this is the range high. So I don't really want to just, this is one that I feel like I could hold it a little bit more, you know, to be on the safe side. I could probably put a sell order at 5.2, and that will probably get hit. I don't really see much point in selling now. Let's see, it could maybe drop another 20% down to this big SR level, 3.8. That could be something, but as you can see, it's looking like it's actually going above this giant diagonal, and the stochastic is moving up, the regular RSI is moving up, the MACD is looking pretty darn good. Yeah, the MACD looks way better. Things look fairly good for WorldCoin, so this is one that I'm not gonna put my take profit just like 2% above where it is right now. I'm gonna put it at a good level, and that's on the USD pair. What about on the, you know, how about looking at it against Bitcoin? What does that look like? So against Bitcoin, it fell down to this key, wow, resistance, and then, oops, pumped all the way up, and then fell back down straight to the SR flip. So this is a giant SR flip right here. So it's so close. It's about 10% away against the SR flip for Bitcoin, about 30% away for that. So I would say this right here is where I would want to take profits, whether it hits this first or the other thing first. But yeah, I think WorldCoin has a good chance of popping up, and the reason why I would take it there is because this right here is the daily, right there, bearish order block. So I'd probably take my profit right there. Also, if you take the fib from, I guess you would take it from the top to the bottom. It's probably a 38.2, somewhere around there. So that's a 38.2. So yeah, I guess it could even go higher, but I would just rather be more safe than sorry, because this is a big resistance area, big support area, this is a big SR flip. So I think if it hits this area on the weekly charts, major SR level, then I'll sell. Or if it hits, let's see, I could just be safe and say it's here, you know, it's 7%. Say if it hits there, I'll sell as well.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Could you restate the question?
What the fuck? So honestly, I feel like I could go higher than that. Man, that's a tough one. It could probably go all the way up to here on the USD chart. Let me check from here to here. Yeah, see, it hit the 61.8, fell all the way back down. I'd probably, yeah, this is where I would take my profits, because support, and then resistance, plus this is 61.8 again. So I don't know if it'll get rejected again, but this is where I think this is the best area on the USD chart to take profits. So yeah, if it comes back up here, I'll take my profits. I'm in from like pretty much where it is right now, just a little bit around here. So that's 25%. That's really good. So yeah, this is where I would take my profits for Wild. Okay, so another one is Say. I don't know if I went over this, but I noticed this right here has one of the things that I, put in one of the other cryptocurrencies. I forget which one it was, but it has the 5 wave structure up. And then the 61.8, it slammed down, hit the 61.8, came up to the 38.2. And if it comes back down to 43 cents to the 61.8 golden ratio, I would definitely be buying it again, because I would think that there'd be, this would be another good opportunity. So I'm in Say right now. I have some, and I'm not gonna buy any more right now. But I just want to put this out here. If Say comes down to 43 cents, I will be buying a lot more. I feel like really stupid for not buying a whole ton down here, considering what this was. But that's the game plan. I just wanted to put that out here. Also, if you look up Say against Bitcoin, if it comes back up here, I'm definitely just going to be selling. I'm just going to sell it all, because this is such a big resistance area. I think we'd be really lucky to get it all the way back up here against Bitcoin. That would be something. And I think if it falls down here against Bitcoin, that would be a good buying opportunity as well. This was the same thing. This was on Tuesday, April 16th. And this one was on Tuesday, April 16th. Yeah. This is just, I don't know what I was doing. Was I just not paying attention or something? Because that was so clearly a good thing. Oh no, I think what happened is I was already all in. And yeah, I was already all in at that point. So I I just didn't want to put more risk on, although I definitely should have. But that it is what it is. So yeah, just want to mention that for Say. Okay, guys. So those were all of the coins that I'm in, that I'm trading. I also have my other account that is for my longer term investing. However, I just have, I don't know, I have a feeling that I should take my profits at more conservative levels than what I was thinking. Yes, I do believe that we have an entire year to continue to see the market go up and things look really, really good. But it's pretty obvious right now, we're in a pretty big downtrend. There's a lot of volatility in terms to the downside in the markets. Bitcoin's really the only thing that's been stable, and altcoins have been getting just totally demolished for the most part. Other than memes and some random ones, most altcoins have underperformed drastically, and a lot of them are back to the levels that they were at when Bitcoin was at half the price, or less than half of the price that it is now. So what I'm doing is I'm taking all of the coins that are in my longer term investment portfolio, and I'm putting sell orders in at key levels. So I'm putting the sell orders in at basically the resistances. So previous highs and big support resistance flips and things like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out at those levels, and then like once they hit, then I'm going to reevaluate. I mean, maybe the market cap or the dominance levels for alts will start shooting up and just go up like crazy, and the prices will go above the previous resistances and go above the previous support resistance flips and stuff like that. But as you can see from this chart, since November 2022, the altcoin market cap has just been going down compared to Bitcoin. So I am lowering the profit targets for all of the long-term investments that I have, and for every single coin that I own, basically, to make sure that I'm in profit for the most part, for most of them, but I'm going to be taking profits at levels that, you know, are much lower than what I anticipated. So for instance, like TIA, if TIA was in my long-term portfolio, and let's say I bought some here, or I bought some here because let's say I bought it like a long time ago. You know, I bought it back in December of 2023 and I bought it here, right? And I've just been holding it because it's in my long-term portfolio, and I don't want to sell on those ones until the bull market is in full swing and it's like very obvious that we have a market cycle top. Then yes, then that's when I would want to normally sell. And in that case, you know, I could think that it could do something like this, where maybe it goes up and then it comes down and then like it goes up again, and like this is all just a part of a bigger picture. And then this is in 2025, you know, when the market's supposed to actually top out, right? But so let's say I had my profit target up here. Now, you know, I'm just gonna sell it at the previous high, like here, and once it hits here, I'll reevaluate. Fingers crossed that it doesn't just put in a God candle, like a giga candle, like this, you know. A lot of coins, there's coins that might do that. I'm sure, well, there are coins that will do that because that's what happens. But I don't know, things are just, it's just so iffy now because of the fact that altcoins really aren't, they haven't been getting any, they haven't been going up at all, really. Or they've gone up, like TIA went up, you know, from November to now, or from November to February. So November, December, January. So for 4 months, you know, TIA went up and it did a 10x, which is crazy if you got into it. But it's like, who got into it down here? Like, I didn't even know about it down there, you know? And a couple of them, you know, did really well that like we knew about, like injective protocol. You could have gotten into that. Like, that was obvious. That wasn't obvious, but like it was one that was available, you know. And there were a couple others that were available that you could have gotten into. I think Ajax was one that I got into, which did really well, that I bought, you know, somewhere in 2023. But for the most part, they just like, you know, it looks sort of like this. So like that's, and this is another one. This is another one. You can't even see this one. How about like DYDX? This is just down. How about ARB? ARB is just fucking holy crap. This is really bad since January of 2024. This entire year, like this is crazy. This is actually crazy. Can you believe this? What does this even look like against the USD chart? Like, wild, right? So it's like if ARB, I don't think ARB is in my long-term portfolio, but if it is, like maybe my long-term portfolio multi-year take profit target was like up here, but like now I'm just gonna take my profits here and be okay with that. Even I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm switching my strategy up after today, and I'd much rather be more on the cautionary side. And it's like I'm still going for gains. Obviously, I'm still going for gains. I mean, this one, for example, is 100% up from here, and a lot of the other ones are, you know. This one, for example, this is 155% higher than the current price, right? But it's nowhere near the previous all-time highs, or like even back in like 2022. I don't know. It's just, yeah. So that's just what I'm doing. And with saying that, oh yeah, one other thing is that I think that there will be maybe new tokens that come out that have better opportunities for growth, and maybe if we get like another really big flush out, like I thought that the flush out that we got last week, I thought that that was the flush out, but I don't know. It's just it doesn't really seem like it's like that was the flush out. I mean, there's coins like this is still continuing. This is still continuing to just drop. You know, it's like a lot of these coins are just continuing to fall, and there's no like I thought that this was going to be the bounce, and then maybe we'd come back down here, and then like that would be it. But it's just like why everything looks so weak. It's just what I'm seeing. It's just what I'm seeing right now. So maybe I'll just get out of the market for the most part. I'm trying to get out of the market, but like I don't want to sell at a loss, you know, at huge losses right now. But I sold everything that I was in profit with, and I put in orders. I put in sell orders to be in profit. You know, just a lot of them just above my break-even price, and then some of them at key levels like this one. So I'm going to also do more research into new coins, into coins on the base network, and other things like that, things that I feel like have really, really high potential. And then of course, if we do get these coins reaching these like huge areas of interest, then that would be a good time to, just go in with more. But I'm definitely feeling the pain right now. I mean, look at this type of chart. It's horrendous, it's just absolutely horrendous. I wonder what this one looks like. This one's, yeah. So, yeah, this was a very sobering, like 8 hours of me going through the different coins that I own, because a lot of them like triads, for example, like, I got in down here, right? And it came up all the way up here, and now let's say I didn't take my profits for some of them. Now they're all the way back down there, because this is in my longer term portfolio, right? My longer term swing trade portfolio. But next time it comes up here, I'm gonna take profits. So with saying that, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. I have some crazy high quality content coming out. Also, if you want to know when the key ideal buy zones do get hit, if the prices do come down to them, then the Discord link is in the description. You could join that, and you'll get all of the ideas and published ideas and signals that I put in this video in the Discord group, along with all of the other stuff that I have. So I'll see you in there, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.